For those who don't know, an islander named Sierra Ortega was kicked off. Okay, and it's caused a lot of discourse, not just with like the romance going on the show, but everything going on around the show. All right, so for some background context, because I do think this is important to understand everything going on. Love Island airs an episode 5 times a week for like a whole month.
Jesus.
And there's only like a 1 or 2 delay between what's actually happening on the show versus what's happening in real life. So this is like near keeping up with like a daily vlog. And this is a show that also incorporates a lot of fan feedback. They got a whole app. People vote, who they want on and off the show. Based off of what they see, this, that, and the third. And also another part of this is that the Islanders have no access to the outside world for like the whole time they're on. A couple weeks before they're on the show, they get their phone removed, and throughout the whole taping of the show, they don't have access to anything. So just some background context for like how the show is formatted. I do think this is important for the conversation. So as soon as they released the cast of the show, the fans of the show start digging into people's online footprint and found a couple of things. One of the women, Yulissa, was on some podcast a couple years ago saying the N-word. Also, Austin is a heavy Trump supporter who's got some very weird reposts on TikTok. And they got so much backlash for this that like literally 3 episodes into the show, they packed Yulissa up. Like at the beginning of the show, they're just like, Yulissa just had to go for personal reasons, but everyone knows it's because the footage came out. They were getting way too much backlash and they had to kick her off. But Austin, however,
she said the N-word
like repeatedly.
Okay, that's cool.
Honestly, has been standing on business ever since. And then Austin, who's the Trump supporter, remained on the show after all of that, and just he was naturally voted out. So that's context to a majority of the show discourse. Now, fast forward to the last week of the show, and a screenshot of Sierra came out where she said a derogatory term towards Chinese people. This post was from January 2024. It was on her IG story. And furthermore, apparently she was confronted about it around this time in her story replies, to which she then replied to the replies, essentially doubling down and saying, I don't give a all right. Luckily, I didn't use it in the derogatory term. So, off. So they, after that came out, they've been getting a lot of backlash for everything, for having Sierra on the show, especially with, them kicking off Yulissa. Everyone was like, hey, if y'all are going to kick Yulissa off, y'all got to kick Sierra off, because if you don't, you guys don't care about Asian hate. And her IRL friends disassociated themselves from her as well, which all of this caused one of the main characters of the show to get kicked off with like 3 to 4 episodes left. And it sparked a bunch of conversation.
Who, Olandria?
No, Sierra was
one of the main.
Sierra, all right. I'm like at episode 4, 5, and Sierra definitely a main character. All right, done memed about that. So that's tough.
Yeah. So just to close it off before we get the reactions in, like the main discourse has been around like, one, in hindsight, especially with how fans have been going about this, should Yulissa have been kicked off the show? 2, like what's up with people and the fans of the show looking back at people's old tweets to find dirt, and also that's like in the context of the show having a history where 2 people, 2 contestants and a former host actually offed themselves due to the hate that they were receiving from the show.
Like what?
Yeah.
What?
In their lives?
Yeah.
Wait. They did it, or they talked about doing it?
No, they off themselves, like for real.
On Love Island?
Yes. Like after they were on the show, they off themselves due to the hate that they were getting.
Then that's from the USA one or other seasons?
So. I believe from the USA one.
Oh,
a producer?
No. 2 contestants and a former host off themselves because of the hate that they were receiving from the show.
Oh.
Because mind you, again, like the mental health portion is a big part of this. Because again, they go into this 3-4 week period where
it's all at once.
Yeah, where like one, it's being aired every single day, damn near, right? And they don't get access to the outside world whatsoever. They've set the precedent that one day they're just gonna wake up and get kicked off from the show, and now like people are gaining so much fame from just their time on the show that people are questioning people's motives on like being on the show because of the fame that they're getting. And then 2, if they get like a shit ton of hate, they're just going to see it all at once, once they get off the show and like cause a mental breakdown.
Oh, wow.
So
Off rip. I'll say amendment to what I was gonna say. They have to change, as cool as it is, they have to change how they do the show. They have to. If you're having people that can't handle it to the point where lives are being took, yeah, that's tough. You gotta change. You gotta change how you do it so people aren't just getting like a mass wave of hate all at once. Some people can't handle that. GG. So you gotta change how you do that.
It's called natural selection. Don't go on TV. What are we talking about? What are we? I don't
guess.
watch Love Island. Let me shut up.
No, go ahead. Get off. Get off.
Yeah, I'm gonna say. So.
Are we dead serious? Like, change how they do the show? No, nut the fuck up. You're going on a goddamn reality TV show where people are about to judge your goddamn life. If you're not ready for it, don't sign up to go on camera. If you can't handle criticism, don't go out in front of the public. Don't go out in front of people that's going to criticize you. Stay your ass a basic regular civilian, work your 9 to 5 and be cool. But you want to go on TV and they get mad when you don't get the results that you desired, that niggas is on your neck because people are evil and people are nasty, but you want to use these same people to elevate your life so you can be fucking famous and mooch and eat and all that other shit, but because it didn't go the exact way you wanted, now we about to woe is me because you couldn't handle it. Natural selection? Fuck out of here. Fuck Love Island. Y'all got this.
I'm not blaming the show for them doing what they did. I think that's not proper. I don't
think that is proper either. But if the result is the result, and that's kind of like my main take on this whole thing. I don't think it's proper that, hey, gang, you get a lot of hate on a reality TV show that's gonna get mass feedback in a day. To a degree, Damo, in my opinion, is just objectively not wrong in the sense of, duh, you gotta be prepared for that. Some people think they are, and then they're not. So reality is, hey, if we can avoid the problem, avoid the problem. The same thing when it comes to the way they're getting the hate. Do I think that? Sure, if someone is back there, I don't know the context of these clips, but if they're back there dropping hard R, doing some weird stuff, and they get packed, awesome sauce. But the idea, the ends don't justify the means, though. The idea that people, the second they're introduced with a new face, are damn near doxing somebody's entire discography with the intent of packing them up, because that's what it is. You're not going to convince me that these people that find this stuff are people that are like fans of these characters that happen to watch everything and then they go, oh my God, yo, y'all got to check this out. This person I like is weird. No, we know what it is, dog. These people are looking for somewhere that someone is fucked up. They're going to clip it in or out of context, post it, and try to get that person the fuck up on out of there. Again, the ends don't justify the means, but hey, if weird people are getting packed up, let the weird get out of there. But whether it's how the shows ran equaling to people offing themselves, or how people are getting packed up, it's a lot of shit going in the wrong way, being done in the wrong way, I'm sorry, and getting even worse results. I don't know.
My thing is like, what I mean, if you don't have a solution, it's fine, but what would you change that wouldn't like change the core of the show? Because like the things that they would have to change legitimately would like change what Love Island is.
Stop being a fucking bad person.
It's easy. There's a lot of shows that on the reunion or on at a later date agree to come back and vote for the finale. So hypothetically, you can vote. I don't know how Love Island voting goes all the time, but theoretically, you film whatever batch of episodes you need to film, and maybe you just take elimination. Maybe eliminations are more scarce and stretched out, pause if needed, but you literally space it out to where when the live audience catches up, all right, bam, YouTube, gotta go, type stuff like that, and you can keep it going. Again, don't say weird stuff on camera. You won't get weird results on camera or off camera. But if this is something that is happening and taking lives at some point, dog.
To the overall consensus, like to the overall point, because I do want to address the thing that Sierra specifically said, but to the overall point, dog, there are some exceptions. There's some exceptions and there's some understanding and all that stuff. But I've never been one of those people. Oh, well, I was just 16. Especially in, again, with certain context added. You can't, I was just 16 to me with the N-word for somebody who is a white American. That doesn't make that'll never connect. That'll never track with me. So if you have that footage out there and you know that it exists, and then you're trying to chase internet success, internet fame, be on a reality show or whatever the case may be, I have no sympathy for you when that stuff gets brought to front and center and then put on display. You said it, you should be able to live in it. You should be able to speak to it or just ignore it or whatever the case may be. But you did say that is your actual reality. And it seems like people haven't done the work to, maybe make a tweet about it and say X, Y, and Z. That's something that I just don't get. And it would exist for the streamer world too. This happens with content creators and all that stuff too. And people deal with it differently or whatever. But I see content creators all the time. Oh, that was my tweet or whatever the case. That was my tweet. Dog, if your tweet resurfaced and you were on pace to be Twitch streamer of the year and now your whole career is derailed, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. You shouldn't have been 16 years old being racist. Like, oh, what? That's so stupid. That is so stupid. Now,
I ain't defending the racist motherfucker. Let me be very clear.
That's just the stupidest thing to me. As far as the Sierra situation specifically goes, again, like I said, I don't know the context. I wanted to know her like exact response, and I also wanted to know her exact background. What I meant because I had this conversation, like I said earlier, with Sky. There is a situation. Sky is my cousin is truly African. She's from Ghana. Spent a lot of her life in Ghana, and she was watching the show 1883, and the phrase gypsy came up. She did not know that it was a slur. She did not know that it was something that was insensitive to say, et cetera, et cetera. In real time, we're trying to tell her that is a slur, but she's like, "Oh, it's a deprogramming in real time." There are certain words that we have understanding for. The N-word is not one of them. I don't think that there's any place space on the earth in which somebody can get the N-word off and not understand that it's racist, especially somebody that's like American born. I don't think that that's to be true. There is 2% of me that believes that to be true about, and not even 2%, maybe more, but the C word for Chinese people, especially the way that we were able to use the word back in the early 2000s and it be an adjective in major media publications and the way that people describe people's aesthetic and look and stuff like that, maybe. But also, from my understanding, that girl is like 21. What she said is a slur. It's wrong. They should treat it the same way. She should know that it's wrong.
Yeah, no, I think like a lot of the backlash, honestly, is on production for not doing enough like background checks on these people. Because like some videos of like other contestants are coming out now, and especially with like how they upload the show, it's on some like, damn, y'all are gonna have to like literally get rid of the half of the cast at this point.
That's what I'm saying.
What the fuck? But I mean, I again, especially because the slur was against Asian people, I'm definitely not defending it. I do think, especially off of the precedent of what they did at the beginning of the show, they kind of forced their hand to do what they needed to do. You know what I'm saying? My thing is the fans and the intent of them digging shit up is just so disingenuous to me. Because, like, to Sage's point again, like when people get canceled, it's typically, hey, you did this thing, you are going to held accountable for it right now. But literally the intent of these people is simply because, hey, I don't like this chick on the show. Let me dig some shit up to pack her up. That's it. And to me, that's so disingenuous. That's like performative to like even the Asian racism conversation. Like you don't really care about Asian racism. Y'all are literally just like using it as an excuse to pack this person up.
People didn't care about the streamers who said the N-word. They just don't like the fact that they got to this new sub count. They don't like the fact that they got this new collab. They don't like the fact that they're making this money. So let me drop them saying the N-word back in 2017 on the timeline. They don't give a fuck about us. They don't give a fuck about that's people in general. That's the nature of the game, which is nasty. I think clip culture is disgusting. I was talking about it on Real Talk stream. We had said something and somebody in the chat, oh, let me clip that. why would, and it was something like, it wasn't gonna have niggas looking best. Why is that your first go-to? Why is that how your mind is wired? And you think it's funny, you LOLing, you think we're gonna enjoy you being ready to clip some shit out of context or whatever context to make people look bad. Like, that's just, it's just a weird byproduct of just what social media is now today. People genuinely don't be caring. It's literally just for their benefit or what they want, whatever they're trying to push.
I think out of context is different than like blatantly saying something, though.
That's fair.
They should double down on it, because someone literally swiped up saying, "Hey, this is a derogatory term." She replies, "Well, thankfully I didn't use it derogatorily or whatever." I'm like, that's the excuse?
Yeah, there's always I don't know the clip. But you said the word and you double it down on it. It's a crazy concept. It's not hard, even if you think you are, I guess, not hate filled or whatever, to just say, "Oh yeah, my bad. I didn't mean to offend nobody." It's really not that hard of a concept.
She did use it derogatorily, though. I ain't gonna lie.
And then that makes it even worse. A million of times, nobody's defending racist people, but the idea of millions of people, if not hundreds of thousands minimum, with the intended purpose of, there's someone, sometimes it's not even because someone did something on the show. So sometimes they're just up. Sometimes you're just a famous person. They're like, nah, hold on. I will forever say that's some weird stuff. And those people don't get to be held accountable. Those people don't have any punishment, any consequence per se. They can just do that. And I will always say that's weird. Let me be clear. Don't give a weird person the ammo, sure, but that's always weird. It's always weird.
I just two things to this though. Again, because from my understanding, she's like 20 something. She's early 20s.
Don't look a day above 30. So
if she was in her 30s, maybe. Because again, I can understand how there's some time-wise things, the way that they were using it, the way that it was just a phrase. That used to be a way that people strive to look, using that specific phrase or that specific word back 10, 20, whatever years ago. Maybe I could give it. Maybe. She is young enough for that to be classified as a slur.
Do you know the direct context of how she used it? Because it's honestly insane.
With her eyes.
Yeah, so she was getting Botox for her eyes. And the story is literally, I'm going to get Botox for my eyes because my eyes look a little... And
but what I'm saying,
you're literally gonna get surgery because you don't want your eyes to look Asian.
What I'm saying to you is, and this may be something that you don't know. What I'm saying to you is, back in the 2000s, this was a term in fashion. This was an aesthetic. This was a look, and maybe part of a 4-year span, this was the way to go. This is the aesthetic that you strive to look. This is the way that you wanted to look. You did get surgery or procedures to look this way, or you did take pictures a certain way, or it was good to be a little foreign and you can see it in the eyes and slur. And then there was a part of it that it wasn't good to look this way, et cetera, et cetera. So it was used a certain way. Again, if she was 30, I might be able to roll out a little bit of cape for it because I know that thing to be true in American specific culture for that specific time. If she was 50, I wouldn't give her the grace because I know people from like that time frame used it as like slurs for communism or like for when China and like the United States were going to war during a specific time frame, et cetera, et cetera. If that makes sense. That's the only thing that I'm saying there. I'm not saying that it's right, but just at this point in U.S. history, this was totally a slur. This is when they were putting Japanese people in internment camps. Mm-hmm. At a certain point in American history, this became a fashion statement. You wanted to look like this. This is the description. This was a compliment. It was
literally pop culture. It was even a rapper, like a popular rapper back then with the name.
Well, not exactly the name, but G. But then as you transition down,
have I been saying it wrong this whole time?
Yes, you've been saying it wrong this whole time. But so then you transition to maybe our generation of people where we recognize this. Hey, this thing is a slur, and she fits into that category. She's younger. This has been a slur her whole life. She was not a part of this era for pop culture. Therefore, it is 1,000% wrong with her. That's all I'm saying. Again, I'm not giving her any bail. Says the only thing to say at this point, don't say nothing racist. I don't know. I see what you're saying. It might be disingenuous. It might be bad faith. It might be all that. We'll get to that later. Why did you say the N-word 5 times on mic?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You could always, and that's a subject on whether you want to argue just usage of the N-word all the way to dark humor. The wide range of when these things get clipped, I'm sorry, is a discussion itself. But don't give them the ammo and you're good. I just will always never rock with it. As far as them getting kicked off the show, gang, what are they gonna do for my life? Wait, I could care less.
Chat one. No, I was talking about something. I wasn't talking about Chingy. There was this Asian rapper that went by that name. He was on Def Jam 5 from New York. It was an Asian rapper that went by it. I'm not tweaking. I know I'm not tweaking. He spelled it with, it was an X though. Someone on the YouTube side put his name, well, a name that looked like it, but he went by that, but it had an X. I'm not bugging. Y'all thought y'all had me with the B-Lou dumb edit. You don't. I know what I'm talking about.
She racist. They all racist. Get them off the show.
It's pure racism. Pure racism.
Fuck them. Truly fuck them. They should stay consistent. Don't say things that are crazy.
Yeah, because you're never gonna be able. The reason why am I lagging? What the fuck? Anyway, the reason why my take on production was to change the format of the show versus just background checks. For anybody that asked why I didn't take an obvious layup there, nobody did, but I'm saying it is because you can't. like you just won't be able to. That's where internet undefeated LOL plus ratio occurs. You asking these people to do damn near unconstitutional levels of research that these online niggas do. So yeah, that's why I was like, let me just pick something more practical, which is maybe change how the elimination process is per se. Maybe keep it to the contestants. It's a fun idea. It's an awesome idea. And I think that's why Love Island works. But if it's not going to work, people are wooing themselves and stuff.
Vet these contestants more, and also just be consistent with how you're dishing out punishment. They either all stay on or not. But yeah, I think the problem is they're not consistent because again, the Austin dude was just naturally kicked off. He wasn't booted off the show by production, and then whatchamacallit, some videos of other contestants have came out.
I think the Trump shit is different though, but I don't know if that's why Austin was kicked off the show.
No, he was just kicked off.
He's kicked off organically, according to Souls. I knew he weren't gonna win, so I don't even care about that. But he's kicked off organically as far as Souls is concerned. But in terms of that kind of stuff, I mean, y'all likely know where I lie with that kind of stuff. But I don't think that's quite the same thing. It's like a political thing. Like he supports Trump. Get him out of here, basically.
It's
you know how that
repost on TikTok.
Yeah, that's all different thing.